Hello, my name is Tolnin. This will be the first tutorial I make for modding. Well, the first real tutorial, I should say. I'm gonna teach you how to make a custom class for the game. Have it be the first class in the list instead of being all the way at the end. And edit the character's appearance for the class if you want to do that. If you don't want to go through making the character every time and you want the character to have a set appearance for whatever reason that may be. Alright. So first, we're going to start in era init pram. That's what I call it. Not sure if people pronounce that differently. So we just want to click on Wretch down here and then do Control D to duplicate it. And here we have this. So then we can rename this to whatever you want your class to be. I'm just going to make a build that I used one playthrough I really like, so I'm just gonna make it for this. And then to have it be the first class in the list, we will have to do this, make this 3,000, not 30,000, and then up all of these by 1. Right, and then wretch becomes 10. And then if you want to, you can go up to tools and then click sort rows. It'll make it look nicer, have everything in here. And then we can make the class now. So for the weapon, I'll choose the Misericord. I'll choose the keen one because that's what I did in my playthrough. So in equip param weapon, you just search for the weapon you want, select it, and then copy the ID, then go back to Kara init, and paste the ID. I'm just going to be showing you the basic rundown for making the class. If you want to get into more advanced stuff like custom weapons, not too hard to learn, but I'm not going to be going over it in this tutorial. Sure, there are tutorials that cover that stuff. And then make it in the left one as well. And then for the armor pieces, we go to equip param protector, and I didn't use the entire Ronin set my playthrough, but just for convenience, we're gonna do that except for the headpiece because I don't like putting the headpieces on my characters unless it still shows my face because I like seeing my character's face. So again, we just copy the ID, go back to Kara init, and skip the head, put that on the chest. Gauntlets. That on. And then the greaves finally. That on. And then you can edit all this stuff if you want. I'm not going to for my character. There's the spell slots, and then this equipped item slot. This will be like where your flask is whenever you get your flask in the game. And then down here, we'll be doing NPC player phase gen ID later, not right now. So here, you can edit your levels. So for the Misericord, you need 7 strength, which I think every class has, maybe if you don't. But then you need 12 dex, so up that to 12, and then since we up that by 2, we up the level by 2 to make it match. Alright, so that's all the levels I'm going to do just for convenience. And then stored items right here with the Memory of Grace. This is your pouch. So let's say you wanted to give yourself an item. For me, I'm just going to do the Mimic's Veil. because I like that item and something to use for the tutorial. So we can just place that from equip param goods, and that is done in there. And then for the NPC player face gen ID, so that you will have to go into face param, and then you can select mimic tier, I guess that works, and then control D to duplicate. It'll be down here. And then I don't know if keeping it at 15 will break anything. Sometimes modding can be weird and you have to have certain numbers, but 100 worked for me, so I just used 100. So you edit that and then edit the name. And then obviously, I'm not going to go through the entire character thing for you. That's just boring. It doesn't help you with anything. You just insert the sliders from in-game to here. So you make your character in-game the normal way. Then you just insert all your slider values in here. It has, I believe, every value that the game has. You can even, if you don't want to edit the numbers of the colors, you can click on this and put in the hex or just pick a color that you want. And then this one, it just face template bone structure. It's really weird. I have this guide right here that explains it. It doesn't just control your bone structure, it also controls your age and then if you're muscular or not. So if you want to be muscular, you'll use any of the values that are 100 and up. But if you want to have the standard musculature, then you use one of these. So I'll just do young muscular with bone structure 1 because I don't know enough about bone structures for that to matter. So we make this 100. I will have that linked, the guide about the bone structure thing. And then I'll also have Smithbox and Witchy linked because you need those to complete this. But I won't have like UXM Unpacker linked because this tutorial assumes you already have the game unpacked. I'm just going to link Smithbox and Witchy because they're tools you need specifically for this, for making your own class. So then once you're done with your face param, you can go back to init and then edit the NPC player face gen ID. Put in your number and it'll have right there so your character looks like however you want. And then after that, we are going, so base character select menu param is what we're in now. That's like the menu that has all the pictures of the classes and all their stats. If you press like triangle on PlayStation, Y on Xbox, I don't know what it is on keyboard because I don't use that. That's what we're editing right here. So we just dupe this, name it to your class name, and then again to have it be the first in the list, make that 2000, and we up all of these by 1, including the init param ID origin. I'm not sure if editing the class matters, because that's no, that does not matter. We don't have to edit the class. We just need to edit the origin because the class on init is these values down here. I think it's 3100 to 3119. But we don't edit those. It doesn't affect anything, so that's fine leaving it as is. So we up the base ID and the init param ID origin, not class. And then we leave the rest the same. So I'll zoom past this. Okay, so this one right here, starting with Samurai, it gets a little weird. So 1 through 6 are normal for the origin. So it's 1 through 6, and then here, instead of having it be at 7, that's what it was when I clicked on it, we are going to go to 8. So it's Samurai, Samurai. Not sure why they did this. I'm not sure if it's a Smithbox thing or just how it is in the game, but yeah, we have to edit this accordingly. So that will be 8, and then this will be 9, and then we still have to up this by 1. It'll start to mismatch up here, so we're not just upping it by 1, we're changing it to specific stuff because it goes all out of whack for whatever reason. But the base ID, we just up by 1 the entire time. And then this will be 7. And then this will be 10 right here. And 10 right here. So it's back to normal, if you want to call it that. And then also, for whatever reason, you have to rename Wretch to Confessor. Don't worry, it won't rename it in the game. It's just a Smithbox thing, I think. Whenever I had it just as Wretch, it would mess stuff up, and I got help in the FromSoft modding Discord server, and we found out you have to rename it to Confessor for whatever reason. I don't know. It's really weird. But it's still the Wretch in the game, so it's fine. And then this one, we need to go down to 3000. And then there's Victor Velox right there. And then image ID, you're going to want to do 4. If you get into more than adding more than one class, you'll do different numbers, but it should be pretty easy to figure out. I won't be going over that in this tutorial, but it shouldn't be too hard. But 4 makes it easier on you for the first one. It's just an easy placement into a DDS file, which you can open with Photoshop if you have that. If you have the plugin for Photoshop to be able to do DDS stuff, or if you use Paint.net, I think it can do it by default, but I use Photoshop. And then we are going to do the same thing in character make menu list item param. So after that, set to 4, and then we'll do this text ID thing right here. So we want to copy this text ID, go into text editor. Over here on English, we click menu and then menu text. Then we can copy in that number, click on Wretch so it gives us this blue highlight, and delete what we put into the search bar. Then it'll have us at the top, but now that we have the number we're going to and the blue highlight to help us, we can just eyeball it, wait till we get close, start to slow down, and there it is. So make sure you have Wretch selected and then just duplicate it. So it'll be 288.110. Rename it to your class name. And then go back to Param Editor and then make this into that new number, and it'll have Victor Velox right there. So we're done with all that. Now we can go to, actually, hold on. First, rules, sort rows, just make it nice if you want. I like to do that. Character, make menu list, item param. We scroll all the way to the bottom. And then select Wretch, and again, duplicate it. Rename it to your class name. And then if you want to get ahead of the game, you can just rename this to 140. It says null right now. It'll say null like the entire time for whatever reason. I don't know why, but even though it says null, it still works, so you don't have to worry about that. Now we are going to once again put our class at the beginning. So this one is 100,200, and we up all of these by 1. We don't need to edit their caption ID, or we will have to edit their value. We have to up that by 1. And also I forgot, like, our class down to 0, so be sure to edit that value. And then that's upped by 1 already, so we go here, and that's 2, and that's 2. Alright, and then the values is gonna get weird again, just like in base character select mini param. So the first one is 8. The next one is 9. And then 7. Wretch 10. And then you can go back and up these by 1. The base ID, you can just up it by 1 normally. You don't need to do anything weird. And then rules, sort rows. So that should be everything for frame editor for now. So you want to copy that caption ID on your custom class, go to text editor, and still in menu text, you paste that in and make it 39. And select it for the highlight, and then scroll down and find it. There it is, and then we don't have to duplicate Wretch this time because we have a null right here, so you can just type in Victor Velox, and then this 297140 doesn't just edit the character make menu list item param. It'll also edit, so whenever you're in text editor 297140, it'll have the, like, when you click origin in the character creator to change your class after you've already entered the character creator after choosing your class, you go to origin, it'll have Victor Velox, and then we also want to go to line help down here, and then 297140 is going to be up here. We want to click that, and if it's not already here, like it was for me, it was already all the way down here, you can just like look up a class on like Fexture Life or something. Like if you look up hero, it'll have the description right here, so you can just type in a stalwart hero into the search bar up here, and then do the same highlight trick that you highlighted and then scroll down to find it. So you just edit the description of your class to whatever you want it to be. If you want to add some lore to it, for this we can just say a warrior from a distant land or something like that, just for the sake of the tutorial. And then we should be done with the text editor now, so you can do file and save all modified text. And since this is 297140 as well, for the list item param, it'll edit both the name of the class and the description of the class, since we have 297140 right here and we don't have to have it twice to have a different number for the name and the description. And then we should be done with all these params as well, so we can save all modified params. And then we go to the file. So you're going to want to go into the base Elden Ring folder, the game one, and then go to menu right here, and then high at the very top. And then you are going to want both of these common files. If you haven't unpacked these with Witchy already, you won't have these folders right here. You'll just have these files down here. So you copy these two common files, and then you open up your mod folder, and then you're going to want to make the same pathway. So you go make a menu folder, and then inside of the menu folder, you make one called Hi, and then go in there, and then paste the two files in there. And then have them both selected, and then on Witchy, unpack it however you unpack using Witchy. I set it up inside of Witchy, so I just have it on the right click to make it easier for me. It'll unpack them. And then first we're going to go into the bottom common one that all these load in. Actually, while they load in, we can edit this XML right here. So just open that up. And then if you want it to compress faster, you can do this right here. Just select the compression and then go back to my copied stuff. And then it'll be this one right here. So like this. And then I'll have this right here in the video description, so you can save it as well, since it doesn't show you this whole string of stuff until you start compressing and it's already too late. So, and then we're gonna want to scroll down all the way to where it starts saying SB underscore int right here, and then copy from this textured word to this one, and then up here, and then click down here and paste, and it'll do it automatically. And then just rename this to 2. Then you can save this file and close out. And then to make that file that we just added to the XML file up here, we click on SB preset 2 and then Control C, Control V. It makes that right there. And we rename this to SB underscore NT underscore 02. So it'll be over here next to the first one. And then open it with your photo editing program of choice. I have Photoshop. In the plugin required to edit DDS files within Photoshop, Paint.net, I believe, can do it by default. And then, so for the picture that we're going to add to the class, it's going to be placed somewhere over here. Like, it'll be this general spot. You'll have to mess with it to center it and make sure it's all fine. But I'm not going to do that because there's no need for me to do that for this tutorial. So just copying my picture. I'm just going to use this random picture off of Google. I guess it's not random, but you know what I mean. Just have it like right there. Like you can like guesstimate to get at least close. Like these have that big of a gap, so you want to try to have that big of a gap, I guess. And then just have that right there. Obviously, I wouldn't use this for an actual class I'm making, but for the tutorial, and then Control Alt S to save as. And then we are going to save over the DDS file we made. And then a recommendation, you don't have to, but a recommendation, just normal Control S. And then it'll save it. Default to saving as a Photoshop file, and then whenever I do this, I just go into my mod folder, and then I make a new folder called files for me, and then I just save it in there. So if I ever want to go back and edit it, and I have all the layers that I would in an actual file that I'm doing for an actual mod, I'll have that, so I don't have to go re-edit it every time, and I'll have this as a backup. So I recommend doing that. So after that is done, you're going to go back into this area with all these files, go backwards one folder, and then repackage it with Witchy. Since we edited the compression, it'll be a lot faster than how it would have been. Now, we want to go into the top common one. We can edit the XML in here as well. So we can edit the compression as well. Then there we go. And the same thing as last time, go to SB_NT_01, copy it from file to file, and then click down here, paste. We'll have it right down there. Then we're just renaming it to 2, and you should be good. You can close out of that. And we are going to scroll down to SB preset, not the second one this time. We're going to do the normal one right here. Copy paste that, Control C, Control V, and then rename this to SB_NT_02. It'll go up next to 01 up here, and then edit with your text editor. And then we are going to want to delete all of these, so it's only left with menu CH05. And for some reason, again, another weird thing, I don't know why this breaks it, but keeping the zeros breaks it for whatever reason, and the pictures go all out of whack. So we want to delete all the zeros. Don't know why. And up here, we want to rename that. Again, NT02, not 5. Save that. Close that. Alright, and then we can go back a folder and then repackage this one as well. That one went by really fast. And then it should be all good, so you can go to your Mod Engine 2 folder and then start up. Yeah, I saved all the params and texts and stuff. But yeah, we can start up the game. And then once we load in the main menu, new game. And I didn't get it centered, as you can see, but we have my custom class right here. It's the first one in the list. All these ones look normal. And then we can go in here. And then I have my armor. I have my weapons that I selected. But hold on. I didn't save the... Interesting. I did not save the face param that I made. I'm not sure why that didn't work. Because I am young, but as you can see, I'm not muscular, I think. Yeah, I'm not muscular. Alright, so I did not figure out what went wrong, but I fixed it. Trying to fix it, I closed out of the game and reopened it, and that didn't fix anything. It was so messed up. And then I closed out of the game and Smithbox, and then reopened Smithbox and saved the prams. I don't know if that did anything. And then I reopened the game, and it's working now. I have no idea what went wrong. I just fixed it by restarting both. So if that happens to you, then there you go. So it has the green skin I put on, and then it's muscular. It has my weapons and armor. I'm young, by the way. Part of the musculature or the bone structure setting thing. Victor Velox, a warrior from a distant land, at the very top. Vagabond, warrior, hero, bandit, astrologer, prophet, samurai, prisoner, confessor, wretch. And the face pram thing can be kind of buggy, so if you go to another one, sometimes it'll look like your face pram, but the other times it'll just look normal. Sometimes it bugs out, so it puts the vanilla guy onto your custom class if you go back and forth, but that's not happening now, so I guess that's just an every now and then type bug. So that's everything. So you got your custom class at the front. All of these look fine. You go in, you have your face pram you made, and then all your armor and weapons. And then you even have it in this little list right here, the origin. You have your description right there. Everything is all good. And that is the tutorial. Thank you.